Good day, folks. HANKLYFELAW. Here we go. Color of law versus real law. Why police power collapses when your status is recorded in the private. The core truth. Police operate under public jurisdiction, enforcing statutes, codes, ordinances, and policies, not private law and not constitutional rights, unless invoked. Their authority is conditional and not absolute. Color of law defined. Color of law. Actions that appear lawful but lack lawful authority, codified at 18 U.S.C. 242. If an officer acts outside actual jurisdiction or authority, it becomes a federal crime, not just doing their job. Well, why didn't public schools teach you this? Public schools train people to believe police equals law, statutes equal mandatory, jurisdictions equal automatic, silence equals consent. All false. In law, jurisdiction must be established, not assumed. What police actually enforce, not law, but administrative codes belonging to municipal corporations, state franchises, federal corporate jurisdictions. These apply only to those operating in the public capacity. 14th Amendment, U.S. citizens, residents, licensees, commercial operators. Private status explained. A private American is a non-resident, non-domestic, not a federal employee or corporate franchise, not engaged in regulated public commerce, not subject to statutes without consent. This is a political and legal classification, not a belief system. Status must be on record. Private status must be documented, recorded, and served in the appropriate venues. County record, Secretary of State UCC record, notice of status, plus domicile, PMA membership, documentation, recorded affidavit of political status. Private standing is a paperwork reality, not a verbal claim. When status is on record, once you are recognized as private, the legal burden flips. Officers must prove jurisdiction before acting. If they cannot, they must stand down or become personally liable. Personal liability is real. Public officers lose their shield when they violate private rights. 18 U.S.C. 241, conspiracy against rights. 18 U.S.C. 242, acting under color of law. 42 U.S.C. 1983, civil liability. 42 U.S.C. 1985-1986, neglect to prevent violations. Title 18, 872, extortion by officers. When they step outside lawful authority, they, not you, are exposed. Why police are trained to presume you are public? Because you have a state-issued ID. You use a Social Security federal property number. Your registered vehicle, commercial contract, you file a W-4S, federal employee status. You operate in commerce as if you are a franchise. They presume public jurisdiction because no one tells them otherwise. They're not trained properly. Private status breaks that presumption when your documentation publicly states private citizenship, private domicile, no federal franchise participation, non-commercial travel, no consent to administrative jurisdiction. Private status breaks that presumption. This office must pause, verify authority, produce written jurisdiction, or risk violating federal law. The real reason officers get nervous because when you're in the private, their qualified immunity no longer shields them. Every action they take must be lawful, constitutional, jurisdictionally valid. One wrong move equals personal liability. How private people act differently. Private standings isn't allowed, it's procedural. Those operating lawfully in the private do not argue status or codes, do not consent through conversation, do not volunteer information, do not educate officers roadside. Instead, they do one thing only. They require jurisdiction to be proven on the record. No jurisdiction equals no authority. Silence plus documentation beats the debate every time. The real power shift, here's the truth, they don't teach. Public officers fear paperwork, not people. When your status is recorded as private, presumptions collapse, authorities must be proven, qualified immunity weakens, liability becomes personal. The real power shift, this isn't defiance, this isn't resistance. This is the lawful boundary between the public and the private. And once it's on record, the risk shifts off you and onto them. If police authority were absolute, they wouldn't need assumptions. If jurisdictions were automatic, it wouldn't collapse when questioned. If status applied to everyone, private status wouldn't change outcomes. So ask yourself, why does paperwork change the power dynamic? Answer, because jurisdiction is not presumed, it is proven. Hank Life Law. Educate yourself and know what is going on in your life.